Hi you guys, my name is Guru Shakia and welcome to my beautiful channel. Today we are going to discuss how to embrace your sexuality. Basically this is something that I'm dealing with in my journey at this time. Um, Especially I wanted to touch on this because I know a lot of rape and sexual assault victims may be dealing with similar issues, or if you're just a person in general who's found it very hard to embrace your sexuality. I know a lot of difficulties come into play, especially being a woman here in America. There's been a force basically working to suppress our sexual energy, and basically it is our birthright to be who we are as sexual beings. But a lot of shame and guilt arises when we try to do so a lot of times. Not all the time, and it may not be the case for everyone. But a lot of us do have difficulties embracing our sexuality. And when I speak upon sexuality, what I'm talking about is basically like our natural urges as beings to, feel pleasure, to basically embrace, like our kinks, to like who we like, as long as we aren't hurting ourselves or anyone else. And basically, I'm just going to touch on how we can embrace our sexuality if we're having difficulties. So I already touched on the reason why you could be having difficulties in your sexuality is because a lot of times if we grew up in a religious background, we're taught that, we should have shame around our sexuality. Like, women aren't supposed to masturbate. We aren't supposed to feel good about feeling pleasure, things of that nature. And just by what we pick up in social media and TV, we have all these things weighing on us and how we think about sexuality, and a lot of it is very unhealthy and contradictory to one another. So basically, how we can own our sexuality is first by quieting the voice of those around us, because basically sexuality has to do with you. It goes a lot hand in hand with self-love, actually. Basically, it's something that you have to embrace yourself. You have to wake up every day and say, okay, I'm okay with this body that I have been gifted. I'm okay with my curves. Or if you're a man, I'm okay with this body, this build that I was given. That is the first step of embracing your sexuality, is being comfortable in your own skin and in your body, regardless of what people tell you should look like, what you should feel like. Yes, it will be very hard because you are being told on a daily basis that, you aren't good enough. But the first step to embracing your sexuality is embracing the body that you have been gifted. And that's basically like by spending time with it, sleeping naked, dancing naked, painting naked, all these things you can do to get intimate with your body, looking at yourself in the mirror, taking nude pictures, posting nude pictures, whatever floats your boat. But basically looking at your body, looking at your face, your skin tone, everything, everything that has to do with your body, playing with poses in the mirror, massaging your own body, getting intimate with yourself, and getting to know your body. The next step of embracing your sexuality is getting comfortable with your urges. So meaning when you are horny or sexually turned on, realize that that's okay. Again, a lot of us have grown up, whether we have sexual traumas or whether we grew up in a religious background or society that is not okay with sex. We have a hard time acknowledging that, like, look, it's okay to be a sexual being. That's part of who we are. It makes up a huge part of who we are, actually, and a lot to do with our self-confidence and our power as a human being. But a lot of people don't want us to know our power, especially as women, in our sexuality, so they try to repress it. But the first thing that you can do, another thing you can do, is basically being okay with those urges, and actually acting on it, actually doing something about it. So if you feel like masturbating, masturbate. And then actually get a feel of what turns you on. So like really, really like get intimate with yourself, touching your body, things of that nature, to get comfortable with who you are as a sexual being. Another thing is like your kinks. So don't be so scared to explore outside of your given territory. So just because someone says you're supposed to like this in bed or that in bed, or you shouldn't mess with toys, do what makes you feel comfortable. Again, as long as it's not hurting yourself and no one else, it's all free game. Another thing is just forgetting your own negative voice as well. So meaning you can't believe yourself, because chances are all the negativity you believe around sex is pre-programming. And a lot of that has to do, again, with your outside forces. So a lot of it has to come to deal with listening to your inner voice and realizing that, okay, what feels right to me, I'm just going to listen to that voice. Dressing how you want to dress that makes you feel sexy and sensual. Another thing is using all your senses. So taking time out your day to breathe and slowly breathe and feel your breath. And when you read, touching the paper, take time out to actually enjoy the beauty around you. All this is going to help you get in sync with your sexuality and yourself, spending time in nature, connecting with Mother Earth. Especially if you're a woman, again, this is going to help you get in touch with your sexuality. Dancing is another big one. Belly dancing, African dancing, wearing waist beads, actually wearing orange, eating orange. All of these things help you. Men and women. I'm just saying women because I am a woman and I know firsthand about that. But a lot of eating fruits and drinking juices, eating oranges, spending time in and around water a lot of times will help you. So if you have a pool nearby, for example, or if you're drinking lots of water, all of this is going to help you embrace your sexuality more. Of course, it's going to be a little harder if you had shame maybe around, maybe if you're gay or if you're bisexual. That's probably another thing too, but it's more so, it's all learning to embrace who you are, loving who you are, regardless of what people tell you you should be like. And again, it's going to be a challenge. But acknowledging, okay, these are my preferences. These are who I'm usually attracted to. And some of it may take a little meditating and writing down your preferences that you notice or who you're really attracted to if you're trying to figure out, okay, am I bi? Am I gay? Things like that. Do I like these men? Do I like this build? So you kind of get a feel of what you naturally go for. And this can actually help you when you start to choose partners that you want to have sex with when you're ready. And basically, sexuality is nothing that has to be rushed. It's on your terms, on your time. You have to realize that. That's another point of embracing your sexuality. It's not rushing anything. Having sex when you want to have sex, not having sex when you don't want to have sex. But realizing that overall, being a sexual being is part of human nature. In the past, I became so ashamed to the point I went celibate. But something that I do to embrace my sexuality is taking, like, for example, nude pictures, or just sleeping naked, painting naked, things like that. But if you're having a hard time, I hope that this video helped you, especially if you're a rape victim, sexual assault victim. You have to take your body back. It'll come a point in time where you can't hide anymore. You can't shrink and be little. You have to step back in your body, own it, stand up tall, own those parts of yourself that you that you've grown to hate. And it may take some things like, okay, let's say you hate your boobs. You can get nipple piercings to help you kind of embrace that part of your sexuality more, belly piercings, tattoos, things that kind of help you bring beauty to that area and kind of help it grow on you. But again, it is your journey and your journey alone. And understand that embracing sexuality is okay to do so. And yeah, so if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I hope this made sense. I hope it helps someone. Peace.